Hey guys, I am Jamil. This is a boy named Jamil, and today we're going to talk about my A7R5 wish list. I think there is two different ways that we can go about uh, thinking about how Sony should upgrade the A7R4. And so we could just look at it as a direct upgrade to the A7R4. We can take the R4 and look at some of the things that it didn't have, or look at some of the things that kind of didn't work well and ask Sony to improve it that way. Or, which what I think is the better thing to do, is to take the A1 and take all of the best photo features from that camera and ask for that camera. Take everything that's great about the A1 on the photo side, leave out all of the amazing video specs, and then, ask Sony to give us that camera with some okay video specs. Because if we remember, that's what they did with the A7S III. The other half of the A1 is the A7S III. And so these are the things that I'm asking for. Here's what's on my wish list. And at first I thought that maybe we shouldn't really ask for the stars. We should just settle for the moon, but we can't. We gotta wish for the stars. And so the first thing that I want is the stacked sensor. I want a stacked CMOS sensor in that camera. And along with that sensor, I want the same processor that's in the A1s. Processor, sensor, both things that are in the A1. And here's why. I don't want to have to worry about, buffer speed. I don't want to have to worry about rolling shutter. I don't want to have to worry about any of those things that's going to slow down this camera. I want to be able to have the fastest photo camera available. I want the Sony A7R5 to be the best photo camera available without any limits. And so that brings me to my second wish list, is I want it to be able to shoot at least 20 frames per second. And so I know what a lot of people are going to say. 20 frames per second isn't as fast as the A1, or isn't as fast as the R5, or that's not what I'm worried about. What I want the camera to be able to do is to shoot 20 frames per second no matter what. So I don't want it to have to dumb down. I want to be able to shoot 20 frames per second in uncompressed RAW. I want to be able to do that. Whether I'm shooting mechanical or electronic, I just want the camera performing at its best to give us 20 frames per second. The third thing that I really hope, and I think a lot of you guys might disagree with me on this one, is I want this screen to remain on the camera. I don't want the flippy screen on this camera. And here's why. I think with the flippy screen, here's why. When I'm shooting, right, a lot of times I have my camera in hand, I have it down at my waist, and I'm looking down on the screen composing my shot. And one of the things that it allows me to do is it allows me to get my lines as straight as possible. If I'm framing the shot with the camera and I'm looking right down, those lines are straight. If I'm looking off to the side, it gets a little harder to get those lines straight. The second thing is to be able to look down at my camera like this. I have to turn the camera sideways, and I realize that I'm doing something that I really don't want to do, which is I end up shooting for Instagram, and I don't ever want to do that. I don't want to become a photographer who shoots for vertical social media. And I know that's where a lot of that's how a lot of people are viewing their social media, is vertically. But I have never professed to be someone who shoots for social media. And on my photo camera, the camera that I make photos with, I still just want to be shooting horizontal, especially for landscapes and stuff like that. And so I really do like this screen just flipping up as opposed to flipping out. Also, there's less possibility for it to break. I think Levi Allen just had his screen break. Tough break, bro. And so you're probably asking, with all of these, upgrades, all of these flagship upgrades, how do we keep the price down? Because the price is going to be $3,800, $36 or $3,800. I think what we do is we don't ask for all of the amazing video specs. And here's two ways that I think Sony can keep the price down and give us, you know, okay video specs. The first way that they can do it is, I don't think we need 7K, you know, downscale to 4K. I think you could just cap it at 4K and the processor doesn't have to do so much work. And I don't think that you have to, I just don't think that it's needed. And if you do that, you can give people the 60 frames per second that they've been wanting, full frame and 4K if that's what people are looking for. It's not important to me, but I think if we stop downsampling the 4K, and I think this is a really easy way to save money for this photo camera, don't downsample the 4K, just cap it at 4K. That way you can get the full frame sensor readout in 60 frames per second in 4K that people have been wanting. And so that's one way that you can kind of dumb down the video. The second one is just not to offer up all of the codecs that you offered up in the A7S III. Just give us, you know, a 4K, you know, 100 megabytes per second, whatever that is, and then the HD like you did with the A7R4, and I think people would be happy with that. Just the ability to shoot 60 frames per second full frame, have that 4K, right? We don't need 8K in this camera. That's not what it's for. I don't think you need all of the other bells and whistles that the A7S has. And so I think that that would keep it in line with being the photo camera that has some really good, you know, video capabilities, like we did with the A7S III, which is a video camera with some really good photo capabilities. And I think everyone's happy. And then I know one last bonus is I really would like to have the autofocusing system that the A1 has. I know that Sony will try to find a way to dumb this camera down just a bit so as not to cannibalize the A1, but I hope it's not with the autofocusing system. It'll be with something. I don't know what it's going to be. I can't think of a way that they would do that, like just not give something. Just because, like I said in the beginning, I think that you have to take the very best photo specs of the A1 and put it into this camera. But that's it. That's my wish list for the A7R5. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys agree with some of the stuff that I said? Do you disagree with something? I think I know people are going to disagree with the flippy screen, but yeah, those are the things that I would like to see in the A7R5. So if you made it this far, thanks for watching this video. I'm Jamil. This is a boy named Jamil. Let's talk down in the comments about what you guys want to see in the A7R5. I don't want to hear any talk about 140 frames per second, you know, 4K for slow motion. We don't need that. That's not what I want to talk about. I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.